What messages does Spirit have for you right now? Hi, beautiful soul. Thank you for joining me, Mystic Miya, here on We'll See in the Moment for another highly spiritual, intuitive pick a card reading. We have 4 piles here. You choose a pile based on the number, the colors, the images, the emojis. The timestamps are below in the description, and this is a timeless reading. This is a slightly highly spiritual reading because it's fully intuitive, fully from source energy, from your own spirit team, your spirit guides, and from spirit itself for whatever needs to come through. So I hope this is helpful. I hope it's very resonant, and I hope you enjoy the reading. Much love and light. Hey, beautiful pile 1 with the Siren. Let's see what spirit would like to tell you at this time. Okay, the Star card and, okay, the 2 of Wands. All right. There's a path that has opened up to you recently about a really big dream or goal that you've had, something that you've been kind of working towards. This is something you've wanted to do with your life. You were just kind of waiting for the right circumstances, right opportunities to come along. You've been doing the inner work. You've been practicing what you need to practice, learning what you need to learn, taking actions in the areas that you need to take actions in order for this opportunity to align with you and to come in. Spirit is saying that you've already entered this path. You've already started walking down this path, because I feel like there's like a fork in the road. And it's like very clear that you're deciding to go take this other path. Like, you've definitely changed your life. You're definitely choosing to pick this other path at this time. So you are very, very aware that you're letting go of this other timeline. I just had to pause for a second because I just sneezed so hard twice. Which is like a huge confirmation. Spirit's being like, yes, yes, yes. Like, so your spirit team is so excited for you. You're really connected to source right now, because you're choosing to forego this like 3D path for this 5D life. So whatever that is for you, whatever that means for you, it's like a life that's more authentic to you, a life that you know that you're meant to be living, a life that you've been preparing yourself to enter. And Spirit is saying that you've already taken the first few steps into this other path, meaning that you're letting go of some other path, another timeline, like potential timeline that you knew doesn't resonate with you. This is a path, a life that you've been living that does not resonate with you. And this is going completely in a new direction, one that's more authentic, one towards having that dream. Energy signature, the past is the present. So I'm getting this kind of like 0 point energy. So I feel like the past is catching up to you. So don't be weirded out if you're in a huge like review phase right now. And it just feels like so much of the past is coming out and freaking you out. So you might get little triggers, little traumas that kind of pop up and make you feel like, why am I feeling this way? Or where's I thought this was something that was already healed. What I'm getting is like a very, very old childhood wound that may not have been so obvious. It's been an underlying theme in your life. And it's one of those more blanketed fears, typical of like most people. Like that kind of fear is coming up. You know, maybe it's like the fear of the darkness, like nighttime, fear of embarrassment, fear of not living up to your potential, fear of not being good enough, fear of not understanding something, the fear of like anything that's like could be like very blanketed. It's something that you probably had for your entire life, and it's coming up now because it's probably one of the last fears you have to walk through to get here. I'm also getting this fear is linked to a lot of the same mistakes that you make over and over again. This is an underlying fear. So this is something, it's a childhood fear too. So it's something that's like a general fear which is the reason why you probably, it like shaped your personality, why you probably didn't do something. For example, if it's something like a fear of embarrassment, you might have worked really hard as a child to make sure that you don't embarrass yourself in that way. And then in some portion of your life, you did the complete opposite and embarrassed yourself completely in those ways. Something like that. Fear of not being enough, same thing. Fear of darkness or the unknown, same thing. Like something like that's like very general, broad. That's what I see is coming up for you. So like, Spirit is saying like, yeah, don't be afraid of these fears and these little triggers coming up that kind of display that for you. It's like hitting your inner child. This is so you might have a lot of things related to your childhood coming up, your hometown, family and friends and themes that are very like related to the inner child. Interesting. Spirit is saying is because there's love coming in for you. If you're single, I do feel like you have a very like soulmate level connection coming in for you, and that's why you're kind of healing this very blanketed but affected your personality. So it's kind of like became who you are, the theme of your life, or partially. Always kind of in the back of your head, kind of fear. And the things that I said, they might not seem so scary to us as adults, but your inner child is still so very much scared of it. So that's the kind of fear I'm getting that you're that's coming to be healed, because it's like one of your first fears, and you might have skipped over it just because you don't really think much of it. You became an adult, like a teenager, a young adult, an adult, where you had much heavier, in your face, scary fears, right? But this inner child wound is like one of your first fears. And it seems so mild compared to everything else you've experienced that you usually forget it. Now, this sometimes happens when you have like a traumatic experience. For example, if you had like a traumatic romantic relationship and it ended really badly, or it took a lot of healing from you, you might like go on to like heal other things before you come back and heal that, because the effects of whatever that traumatic experience was so traumatic that you might have to like, you just kind of live life and you deal with healing other things, and you forget to heal that first thing, the initial wound, like that relationship wound or that parent-child wound. And this is bringing it back all the way to one of your first fears as a conscious human being, as a child. So like you can see how big a change this is for you. So big that once you heal this, you're going to be bringing in not just any old soulmate, a divine counterpart, like someone who is so whole and complete, like you've made yourself. This is, I feel like, a completion of your healing journey, which is why you're choosing a 5D path, why you're choosing a completely different timeline, where this dream that you had that was so fantastical, magical, or big, or seems like kind of like the thing that people were against or you had a lot of opposition in for your entire life, is now a possibility. That's how you know this is a huge, like you completed some like major cycle of healing. You might have healed something. I want to stick to your lifetime instead of past lifetime or ancestral karma, but you've accomplished something you set out to do in this lifetime. Not many people make it. A lot of people are starseeds, the light workers, or very spiritual people who are meant to awaken in this lifetime. We all are, but a lot of people come in and are meant to wake up in this lifetime and remember who they are and do their healing. And a lot of people get frustrated or tied down and get pushed over by the opposition within their friends circle, family circle, their work life, and the cycles of this 3D life. You remembered and you persevered and you completed some sort of major healing. And you become so whole and complete because you remember who you are and you did that healing. You're connected to source energy, and that connection cannot be severed. You're in the 5D now, and you accomplish your mission of awakening in this lifetime fully and completely and being connected to the light. So now you're going to have some folks come in, specifically a partner that aligns with this, that has also gone through that kind of experience in this lifetime, that has also awakened, that has also done their healing, that also became whole and complete within themselves and connected to source in a way that they can't have that like cut off anymore. They can't go back to sleep. All right, what else does Spirit have to say to you? The inner reflection, the Justice card. Interesting. The King of Pentacles. Accept responsibility. There's like a part of you that's kind of acknowledging that, like, you know, you're like hugging yourself and you're saying like, you know, there's some stuff that I did that was not okay. Like, I need to stop doing that. You know, so as you come into this new life path, this new timeline for yourself, the one that's like more resonant to your higher self, you're looking at like your 3D version and being like, you know what, like, that's okay that I had those experiences, but these are the things I'm not okay with anymore, and I'm gonna stop. So you want to look at your behavior with other people, what you do day to day in your life. And you've already done this because you already picked this other path. This is just kind of confirmation and kind of like, yeah, you're on the right path. You're not insane. This is happening. And it might be a little bit uncomfortable with these like little triggers of that first fear that you ever had in your life as the inner child come up. And they're not like scary, but they're scary because that was your first like fear. So like when it pops up, it's like your inner child still feels like, you know, like, mommy, like, help me. Like, it feels kind of like, help me, someone. Like, because you just feel like that innocent child that can't like help itself. So that's why it might not be like the most horrific fear, but like it's still like one of the first fears you ever had. So it's still kind of like, you're like, I need help, because you still have that like innocence as a child where you're just like, I can't do this myself. Obviously, I need the guidance. But now as an adult, you know, you can see where you've been acting from that first childhood fear. And you know, like, that's not okay. I'm going to cut that out. You know, that's not cool anymore. Like, that's not what I want to be doing with my life. And you're already aware of this. This is something you've been already working on for a while now. So you're kind of like, all right, like, I made my decision. Now that you're stepping into this new life path where that dream is a possibility, your dream life, you already know what you need to do. So you've already learned things, practiced things, experienced things, researched things, tried things out, and it's now time to take everything you've learned and put it into practice. For some of you, it could have been like you've been taking it out on your health, mentally, emotionally, physically, spiritually. You might have been behaving poorly. You might have had a lot of bad habits. You might have, whatever stemmed from that fear, like, is something that's been kind of like become your personality, become something you indulged in. Yeah, whether it's bad behavior, the same like bad habits, or taking it out on yourself and your body. You already know what these things are. You've already been like working on that. Because the King of Pentacles here, like, you're good. You're golden. You already know what to do. That's why you're on the path now, not like still waiting to make this decision. You made the decision. You're on that timeline now, and it's now time to put it into practice. You already know what to do. You've already done the research. You already done your homework. You already have the information. But there's more information coming in, apparently. What is this? More information coming in. The ever-folding rose cracked open. It's happening for you, not to you. It's happening for you and not to you. Get one more. Tree of Souls, collective wisdom, kinship group, a library. Yeah, so there is more information coming in with a library and with collective wisdom, so people coming into your life. So I do feel like now that you chose this timeline, you're going to connect with more people and more resources, information, not just in the physical, but spiritual, that will allow you to, it's like kind of, like, for example, if you lived in a hometown where you only had a small library and that small library only had access to, like, certain books, you know, maybe, like, some of the main ones and then just whatever the locals had to donate. And so it wasn't really, like, well-stocked, but you kind of, you've, like, read through almost every book, like, 2 or 3 times already. You know, it's just like, all right, like, I've expended my resources that are at my hand, at my disposal right now. And then you go to, like, the Library of Alexandria or something, like, you know, you have the resources at your fingertips are going to expand, like, a millionfold, spiritually and in the physical. So the people you're going to come across now, they're going to be more like you because you chose this path and not many people are in the 5D. You have more access to 5D folks now because you're in the network. You're in the 5D light worker network now. So a starseed or, you know, highly spiritual people that you're with the ascended, like, masses, you're in that network where you have access to these people. They can see you, they can feel you out, you can feel them out. They're going to be attracted to you. You're going to come across them more often. And I talked about this in a previous, like, energy update where it's just like, you know, maybe you saw a light worker like every, like, 1 in 1,000 people or something. And it was, like, kind of more rare, unless you, like, specifically went to areas where light workers, like, came together. You might have a better chance there, obviously, but, like, on your day-to-day, you might see a light worker maybe 1 in 1,000, maybe even you know, a more rare occurrence than that. But now it's going to be like maybe 1 in 10. You might see less people, but, like, the people that you see are going to be of higher quality, and you're going to see more people in this light worker 5D grid network. So, like, the access to people and their wisdom and their knowledge and experience, that's going to be, like, it's going to explode. I think you're going to be really, really amazed with the kind of quality of people you meet now, including a romantic partner. And if you're already in a partnership, this could be you know, platonic soulmate friends and partners in work, and, you know, so it's, or like a soul family type of person. But I do see, like, someone specifically coming into, excuse me, like, I, like, inhaled a dust particle or something and I just coughed so much. It's so crazy. So many, like coughing and sneezing in this reading. But, like, that just goes to show you that, like, I pulled, like, a card on the side. I'm like, what does this coughing mean? And Spirit was like, they'll be back, or they'll send you a message really soon. And it came out in reverse. So it's like, yeah, like, I think because you're already, like, chose this path and you're already taking the first few steps in it, like, I think this is just gonna come right at you, like, bam, like, here are the people, here are the resources, here are the opportunities. It's like, it's gonna kind of, like, feel like it's gonna come at you all at once, and it's just gonna feel like that initially because you're not really used to, like, how this 5D energy works, how things just come to you more immediately, especially if it's for your highest and best good. So I think that's gonna be surprising for you. The ever-folding rose cracked open. It's happening for you, not to you. Yeah. Because I feel like, even right now, while you're kind of, like, you're already stepping into that new timeline, a lot of the old things are, like, left in your body, which is, like, the residual things. Of course, like, the things that you missed or you probably want to think about, the last things that you need to clear out of your physical life and your emotional body is coming up to, like, be cleared out now. It's mild because you already took care of like the heavy loaded stuff, but this is it. Like, you're clearing out anything that does not resonate with your new 5D life. So Spirit's like, no, this is, I know a lot of people are like, I'm exhausted, I'm tired, I'm at my wit's end, and don't give up now. Like, you're literally just entering this path. You're already started this new timeline. You're not in that old timeline anymore. So even if you feel like you're just like inner work, it's like, why is my life just going to be all inner work, nothing manifesting, like not fighting this hard for my dreams or this lifestyle or whatever, for it, like nothing to happen? You're so close. This is it. Like, you already started that timeline. This is just like the old stuff clearing out. You're already in that new timeline, and you know what I'm talking about, because when you wake up every morning or throughout the day, like, you feel it. Like, this is a different energy. You resonate with things deeply. Negative things don't affect you anymore. Like, you can tell, like there's a different energy. Maybe not like, maybe you're not fully in it yet, but you can tell like the energy is different. So, like, Spirit saying, like, this isn't happening to you, it's happening for you. Like, it only feels slightly uncomfortable because whatever is 3D that is not coming with you is being cleared out. And, like, you'll have these memories that, like, are really tough, traumatic, annoying, things that you've already healed. You're not going to remember so much of it anymore because it's going to feel like a distant future. It's going to feel like, oh, that was my 3D life. Like, you're not going to remember so much of these, like, difficult experiences and traumas anymore. Like, they're going to be there for you to kind of use, like, a library if you ever need that experience to help another person or to use for some sort of inner work. But really, it's not going to hold you down. It's not going to be traumatic. You're not going to have, like, that kind of relationship with those memories anymore. It's gonna completely change. Okay, one more card. Talking. I kept seeing like king. Talking. Awaiting messages, text, calls, email, talking more. Yeah, so I do feel like you're going to be talking a lot more. It's so funny, I was just going to say, like, sorry if my voice is a little bit hoarse right now. I just came back from like a spiritual convention and I was like talking a lot. But yeah, I feel like you're going to be talking a lot to a lot of these new 5D folks and this new lover or whatever, this kind of platonic soulmate that comes in for you. I think for most of you, for the majority of you, I'm getting like 98% of you, it's going to be like a soulmate love connection coming in. For those of you who are already with your partner, it's going to be like a soul family member coming in for you. But yeah, like Spirit's like, be prepared to be doing a lot of talking. Okay, then I want to do one last message. One last card pull here. Okay, ally in disguise. Discover the hard to find blessing. Interesting. Whale of a time. Your charge is to enlarge. And now I'm getting this kind of feeling that there's someone that's kind of coming into your life that might not seem so it might not seem so obvious at first that this person is going to help bring your dreams into reality. But with the truth, clarity, information, talking a lot, power, protection. I feel like this person comes in as like a protector, someone who cares for you, someone who wants to be there for you. And I feel like you're not really thinking about anything else because you never felt that love and protected as much in the physical as this person is willing to be there for you in that way, in the capacity. And I think because like this is going to be one of your first like 5D encounters, because like now you're fully in 5D. And so like one of the first people that you encounter is this person and you get to talk a lot with them, and you don't mind the relationship between the two of you just to be that, like, very protective, looking out for each other, helping each other, like, just connecting with that person because you're talking to each other a lot. Solidarity, like, there's a lot of truth, and you're just both, like, so happy to find someone on the same wavelength as you that I don't think that either of you really think about anything else besides just how happy you are to connect with someone. Because this is your first 5D, like, connection, or the first connection you make when you step into your 5D. And for a lot of you, that's your divine counterpart or your twin flame or something along those lines. You finally find each other, right? Or find each other again. Because it's one of the first things. You've been calling each other your entire life, right? And you do this in every lifetime. You try to find each other. You try to call each other back to yourselves. And if it's something divine, like, you can't separate that. Like, you'll always find each other, like, find a way back to each other. So that's one of the first people that you kind of connect with. And there's, like, nothing you two rather do than, like, connect with each other and make sure that you're on the, like, you're just happy to be in each other's arms and, like, you know, protecting each other with whatever you two need to do at the time, whatever inner work, clearing, transformation kind of work that you're going to be doing together. But I think you'll be surprised to learn that you two have the same dream, because at first it seems like you two have very different soul missions and dreams. And I think because in the beginning you're just happy to have each other in each other's lives and connect. I think you two will be surprised to see that you have, like, it's like the same dream, the same soul mission. It's like two sides of the same coin kind of thing, where it's like the same dream, just two different parts of it. So I think you'll be surprised at this person. It might seem like, oh, they want something completely different, and you might be completely surprised that it's exactly what you want. It's just another side of it that you never saw before. So and same and vice versa for them too, with you. So I think that's going to be really exciting and surprising for you. But initially, I think you're just, like, talking up a storm, you know. And they're, like, one of the first, but I do feel like there are other people that you'll be connecting on this 5D level with. But I feel like for most of you, the first is going to be, like, a divine counterpart. You're excited. You've been calling each other in for your entire life. It's bound to happen. And when you're 5D, you're connected to the divine all the time. Your most authentic self, and so you can't help but gravitate towards each other. It's like the first thing that you call in. All right, Pal One, so I hope you enjoyed that reading. If you resonated with it, I really appreciate it, like a comment. And with that, I hope you have a beautiful rest of the day, and I wish you much love and light. Hi, beautiful Pal 2 with the Warrior. We're just looking at whatever Spirit would like to say to you right now, your Spirit team, any messages that are meant for you at this time. Whatever wants to come through. All right, so I feel like you might have been prepared. I feel like for the next, like, week and a half, Spirit is saying, like, this is going to be a really intense, transformative period. You're prepared for this. You know your go-to, what kind of foods you like for comfort, what kind of activities you like for comfort, your favorite pajamas or sweats, or your, you know, most comfiest blankets. You know, you need to how to bring your responsibilities at work and at the home to a minimum. And for the next, like, week and a half, 2 weeks or so, like, I feel like Spirit's like, you know, this is going to be one of the last times that you have to deal with this kind of sadness. I feel like this is the release of all releases. I'm getting this is going to be one of the last releases that's just yours. In the future, if you do any kind of release work, it's not going to be yours, because you're transitioning into, like, a more 5D timeline. So the release work that you will do in the future will not be yours. It might be, like, someone you're helping, or for the collective. For most of you, it's going to be, like, a collective or a group release work that you're going to be helping with in the future. This is, like, last time it's going to be just yours. Yeah, because I feel like wherever you're going, next, whatever you're going to be doing next, because this is, a pile for a lot of people, but I feel like whatever you're transitioning into this new 5D life, you're connecting to a collective. And that's not like, so you're going to be more psychic, more telepathic. You're going to be connected to like your group. Like if you're around soul family, you're going to be connected to their consciousness. If you're with your partner, you're going to be connected to their consciousness. If you're with your own immediate family, that you're going to be connected to their consciousness. If you're working with a group or an area, you're going to be connected to their consciousness. So I feel like if they're on that higher frequency. So I feel like this is the last time that you're in this like kind of like sad inner work is just going to be truly yours. So whatever this is for you, this kind of last bit of releasing inner work, I feel like it's one of the last things that you're going to have to do for yourself. I feel like you've already chosen the 5D path. You already started joining in on that. But I feel like there's like this last clearing to do, this last purging, this last healing, and you know it. You've been prepared for it. This pile is for you. If your guides have been telling you this, and you know this is what's happening for you right now. Yeah. A couple cards came out. Soul fragments, balance will be restored. Yeah. Yeah, because I feel like the type of healing you've done in the past was kind of like in bits and pieces, and it's kind of like you had to fragment yourself in order to heal like different parts of yourself. It doesn't have to be in any kind of order, just kind of whatever came up to you at that time. It might be something from your past. It might be something from your past life. It might be something from your family or your ancestors. It might be something that you're dealing with right now in your neighborhood or where you live, in the area that you live in, or what's happening at work. Like whatever inner work you've been doing is kind of like whatever came up for you, and it's kind of like pieces of yourself, right? That you fragmented in order for you to heal it better, because it's hard to like kind of heal everything at once. You have to like take it one piece at a time. It doesn't have to be chronological. It just you do whatever comes up, and like spirit has their own like healing plan for you, and so you've been working with your guides and your spirit team, and they've been helping you kind of do it in an order that works for you in your life. You go on a trip and it's like, oh, all this stuff from this past family event comes up, or you find someone who's like interested in you. You go on a date, it's like all this stuff from this past relationship comes up, or you're doing something at work and it's just like all this stuff from this past job comes up for you. I don't know, it's just like your spirit team has been really, really good with like bringing up certain things to heal in real time while you're living your life. That's why it's really good to do whatever like inner work comes up for you in the moment, and don't wait on it for like, oh, I can do that next week or something. Like, yeah, if you can remember it, or if you can set aside some time to do it later, like that makes sense. But a lot of people forget about it, and it's like, oh, that was a good opportunity to do that healing work with that thing. But yeah, Spirit's like, you've been doing that, and it feels kind of fragmented because like you're healing different things of yourself, but like I feel like it's hard to see the bigger picture when you're kind of doing a little bit of healing work with career, a little bit of healing work with your relationship with money, a little bit of healing work with relationship with family members or friends, and love and this and that. So in your health and your body, like there's so many like little things, and you're kind of like all over the place. It might feel like discombobulated sometimes. It's like, oh, you're constantly just doing inner work and inner work and inner work. How does it connect? And Spirit is now saying like, this is the last time where it'll feel like you're doing inner work, where it's just like, well, how does it relate to the bigger picture? Like, how can I see the bigger picture? Because you're stepping into your 5D, you'll now be able to kind of, whenever you do inner work, it'll be different. It'll be like, you can see the past, present, and future of whatever kind of inner work you're doing. And And I'm also getting like, yeah, like a lot of the inner work you will be doing in the future in this 5D version, it's not going to be just for you. It's going to be like for like a whole group of people. So it's going to be, you're going to be running on something higher than yourself. Like you're going to be living life from a higher perspective, on a higher level. Like you're not going to be just acting on your behalf. You're going to be acting on the behalf of you and your partner, or you and your small group or big group, or this collective or this area. Like, you know, it's gonna be really different how you relate to inner work, because it's not just you anymore. It's like groups, which is like different, because like right here in this lifetime, it's really like, you know, I and the ego, and then like we, the collective, and it's like really like you had to pull yourself out of the collective to work on this ego, and the ego was good for certain things. So you can learn different things and then add your wisdom to the collective. But it's like now you're going back to the collective energy. And it's like your wisdom is going to be working with the collective wisdom. Your manifestations is going to be working with the collective manifestation. So I feel like you're not going to be working alone anymore. It's like different in how you do inner work. So it's not gonna feel so fragmented. Like when you're doing inner work, it's like it's just like this thing after this thing after this thing. It's not gonna feel like that anymore, because you're gonna have a group and you're gonna see things from like a different perspective. I don't know how to describe it, because like this is just like entering 5D. So it's like it's a different way of thinking. It's a different operating system for your mind. And you know, you might have been doing it a little bit here and here when you're connected to the 5D, when you're meditating, or when you're just thinking about visions for the world. You might have been operating on that like bits and pieces before you entered 5D fully, completely, and keeping yourself there. It's like you're running like that 24/7, rather than just once in a while you turn that baby up, you know? Hidden realms. Okay, wow. Create conscious awareness. Yeah. Wow. So you are going to be connecting with beings of a higher frequency. You're going to be able to connect with interdimensional entities and beings and consciousness. So that's why, that's why you're going to be able to kind of to see things from a higher perspective, is because like you're not just working with like your group, like your own like 5D friends here on earth, but you're also going to be working with those beings that, and consciousnesses and entities that are on a higher frequency, and different kinds, you know? So, and this is happening. Like people are entering the 5D, people are connecting with these beings more. And like the thing is, like they've been testing you. So you might have been noticing recently, entities are testing you to see if you can see them, to see if you can hear them, to see, like, you know, if you notice these things, because that's like their sign that like, oh, you're ready to like connect, you're ready, like humanity is ready to like see us, like specifically pile 2 is ready to work with us, you know? So yeah, you're gonna be seeing things like that. All right, let's see what else Spirit would like to tell you. 5 of Cups, loss. Okay, so we see this kind of like energy here. The 9 of Swords, sadness. The 5 of Cups, sadness. So I do feel like there's a period of time right now in the next, you know, few weeks where you're gonna feel the effects of disconnecting from the 3D Earth, and it's gonna feel like, although you're gonna feel great connected to the 5D Earth, disconnecting yourself from your old life is going to feel sad at least while you're transitioning out completely, because there's like that realization is of like, everything's going to be different, nothing's going to be like the same again, like, oh, I wish I did this, or I wish I did that, or, you know, I wish I had this 3D experience, or, you know, like, and there's also this kind of feeling of like, oh my God, what did I go through? You know, this is one of the toughest schools. You go through such difficult experiences here, everyone. It's very, very tough. And like this, it's gonna be, you're gonna feel also overwhelmed with like the state of our planet, like how really bad it is. Like a lot of us, we know that's why we made the choices we did to go into like a higher consciousness, right? Because nothing is going to work. Like all this crap is going to keep going on the earth until we decide to do better and be better, you know? And then you can't tell other people to do better and be better. You could just have to live by example. You have to do better yourself. You have to be better yourself. And then people see that example and then apply it to their own lives. Like you can't help anyone. You can only help someone help themselves, right? So like the point is to kind of evolve to the point where you're going to see things from a higher perspective, from the perspective of like how like you know how they say like, oh, like the angels, like archangels, like they cry, like if you cry, like they cry alongside you, because like it's horrific what's going on here, right? And like you know what's going on. Like if you're watching my channel and you resonate with these readings, these highly spiritual readings, you know like the truth of what's going on out there, right? And like that's not cool. And so like not only are you sad because you're leaving a 3D experience, because like once you leave it, it's like, oh wow, like that was really tough. I can't believe I went through that. Also like, oh, like I wish I did, like I had one or two more bad experiences, you know, like to fit it in there. Like it's weird to think that way, right? Like, oh, that you wished you had one or two more bad experiences. But also that like, oh my goodness, I can't believe like the depth of these bad experiences that I had in my life. I can't believe we went through that. I can't believe humanity is going through this right now. Like once you see, like, because when you get connected to the 5D and you connect to these interdimensional species, you're going to realize like, oh my God, like this is like horrific. The things that they're going through. You're going to really cry and you're going to feel really sad for like the state of the world right now, right? Okay, so let's try to see if we can see peace. Yeah, but you're gonna have an incredible, overwhelming feeling of peace come over you, because you're gonna realize like, yeah, you're always connected to source, you're always loved, and you're always protected. You chose to go through those experiences, and that's the only reason why, right? So like there's a feeling of like all these things that you've known on the other side is coming back to you, you know? You're going to remember a lot of things. Page of Cups is going to feel like a dream. If this lifetime here is just going to feel like it's all a dream. But the thing is here, like, you know, right now we're going through this unique experience where we're going into the 5D with our current physical bodies, which has not been done before. So this is like a crazy experience. And so it's going to be weird because with this same physical body, you had that 3D life. But now you're having this 5D life with a higher frequency energetic body. And it's going to feel like your 3D life was just a dream. Like you're going to literally look back and be like, oh my goodness, like that was a crazy lifetime, you know? And like you already know these things that I'm saying to you, Pile 2. But like I think when we like don't connect with others who are on the same frequency, we kind of forget and we get kind of lost in the 3D like shuffle of life. But imagine like knowing this like 24/7 and being connected and knowing your true divine power and knowing the truth of like humanity's history and present and power. Like if you're never disconnected from that. Look at that. 2 9 of Swords. Like what is going on, right? King of Swords, vision. Yeah, see, you're gonna be getting, okay, look at that. So do you know how like higher dimensional beings, they connect with you through sometimes images? It's all telepathic, right? And like when I first awakened, I meditated a lot and I met like a lot of different kinds of beings. And they all communicated telepathically, but in their own way. Like some people communicated through, like some species, some beings connected to me by showing me like images. Some connected to me showing me images in my own life experiences. Some connected to me by showing me like kind of movies. Some people connected to me through like more colors and feelings. Some beings connected to me by like kind of like, it was like a 3D virtual experience where like I moved my head and I could see things and stuff like that. And that was cool. Who was that? The Arcturians. I used to connect to the Arcturians very strongly, but they showed me a little bit of like Earth's history, and so it was like an interactive 3D like film. That was cool. Yeah, so they all like connected in different ways. I've connected to like tribes, like shamanic tribes from the past. I've connected to like philosophers I never heard of. I've connected celebrities. I only connected to like one or two Passover celebrities, which was really cool. But like I couldn't help fangirling because at that time I was still young and I didn't know what I was doing. Different like the Federation, not good people. And yeah, so there's like a lot of like had to figure it out. But they all communicate telepathically. There was one Archangel Metatron. And because I studied like physics in college, like I had a really deep understanding of metaphysics when I first, like before my awakening. And I was like, that's like one of the things that got me into my awakening, metaphysics and near-death experiences, NDEs. So I connected to Archangel Metatron was also one of my first energies that I connected to, and very strongly and very often. And because Metatron has experience being human, understands like that masculine energy of like science, and just gave me like flooded me with just knowing of like complex mathematical like theories and formulas, and like it made sense, but like they're going so fast just to kind of prove to me that like you can explain the universe in this way, in one way. Like you can explain the universe through mathematics and it can be like understood, but there's a reason our human brains aren't meant to kind of understand at that capacity, at least in our 3D form. So yeah, I'm just sharing stories, but like I'm just telling you that like, yeah, different energetic beings can communicate telepathically in different ways, but they're all kind of like easy. Like, you know, imagine if you could just like put an image in someone's head when you're trying to explain something. It's like so much easier than trying to find the right word sometimes, you know. And like you could explain the same thing and you two would be imagining different things, but that's really good for manifestation, because if you visualize the same thing and create together, you can attract that creation. So King of Swords and vision, like you're gonna be so overwhelmed. I'm getting tears of joy and also tears of sadness. So like prepare for a huge like mad mood swings, but like not in a bad way, like in an enlightening way, where you kind of get to see the truth of a lot of things. You're gonna get download after download after download in this like next couple of weeks. So I think these two are unrelated. I think you're going to start getting a lot of downloads, just to kind of prepare you before you meet like interdimensional like beings. I think they're gonna like just inundate you with like a ton of truth about your personal life and your background, your past lifetimes, information about your past lifetimes, information about your ancestry and the land that you live on, the groups that have incarnated together, and the true human history and what's really going on, some of the truths that you know, some of the truths that you might not know. So a lot of sad things are really hard, a lot of things that are hard to digest and understand and come to terms with, but also the most beautiful things, what the pristine earth look like, what pristine humans look like, what our capabilities are, what our powers are, our strengths are, the connectedness of all things, the beauty in all things. And so it's going to be like tears of sadness and tears of joy, but like on another level. So Spirit is telling me that, like, yeah, you might just want to have a heads up about that. Soulmates, soul connection, partnership, soul contract, life partner. And you're also going to be finding your soulmate. Yeah. So, there, everyone does have like that soulmate, that the person that they prefer to connect with and had a lot of lifetimes with and connected, romantically and in love with that specific soul over and over and over again. So yeah, when you start to get all this information, you're also going to get more information about your soulmate, and you're also going to be able to know them on an energetic level better. So you're going to remember them. You're going to remember a little bit bits about them in past lifetimes, or if you met them in this lifetime, you're going to have more awareness around that meeting and around that connection. So it's just information on like all fronts, but it's like divine information. So pull a couple last cards to see if Spirit has anything else I would like to tell you. Eyes on the prize. Trust the guidance of your North Star. So Spirit is saying, like, we want to give you like a heads up and kind of prepare you, like, yeah, this is going to be like a crazy few weeks where you're kind of like, it's going to feel like you're super emotional and you can't see what's straight, but you're being guided through this so you can like be ready to jump into the 5D, because like this is like training, this is like preparation, this is like what's it called, like the training video, like orientation like before you start this new job, like that's what it is. It's like orientation for 5D. Ooh, 2 cards came up. Keepers of the earth, you are not alone. Ancient ancestors stand beside you. I'm going to pull a card for that. Opportunity. Okay. Yeah, so I do feel like you're going to be connecting to high frequency beings, and it's going to be different for different people. You might be connecting with elementals, the spirit of the river, or you might be connecting to like shamanic groups that are native to wherever you live, or some sort of deities or archangels, or I feel like they're going to be more like, I think it's going to start with like those that are connected to the earth more. So it could be like, fairies or mystical beings, or beings that are more connected to the earth, that have had incarnations here possibly, or related to the earth somehow. I think that's going to be one of the first kind of energies that connect to you, so they can like connect to you through the earth more. Through the understanding of earth. Like, it's sometimes easier to connect, like when you start telepathically communicating, like sometimes it's easier to connect with those that like kind of understand the physics of this realm. You know what I'm saying? And then lastly, boundaries. Where do you need to establish better boundaries? Okay, so boundaries are coming through. I'm getting. Whoa. Ace of Swords. Oh, wow. So we have like the Ace of Pentacles and the Ace of Swords. And then we have the King of Swords here. Okay, and then the 2 Nine of Swords. Like a dream. It's like a dream. Okay. Okay. I am getting that you're going to be cocooned during this time. So expect to have some space. I feel like people are going to try to connect with you because their souls will feel you going to the 5D. And so they'll try to hold on to you. They'll try to connect with you. They'll try to ask for your help. They'll try to ask for your guidance. Your light is going to be shining so bright. They're going to see the worth. They're going to see how high your frequency is. They're going to see your light. And so you're going to have people connecting to you for different reasons, or wanting to reach out to you, or wanting to get through your bubble. So what, Spirit? I'm like, what's the reason for all that? Is there anything specific? Oh, this is the deck I was looking for. So many cards coming up for you, pile 2. Okay, I'm only gonna pick one card, please. 2 cards. Okay. 3 cards again. Are you kidding me? Okay, 1 card, please. I feel like if you're into this reading, pile 2, and then all the cards like fall like all off the table, like there's so much Spirit wants to say to you, pile 2. I'd watch like another pile 2. Like I would recommend, if you resonate with these readings, like each of these piles is gonna resonate with you. I'd watch it at a different time just to get new information about what's going on right now for you. Here we go. Kindred spirits, spirit companions, guides, comfort. Yeah, you're gonna be able to. Oh, they're your guides. Your spirit guides are gonna connect to you to comfort you because they know you and you know them. You know your spirit guides from the other side. You're very, very familiar with them. You've reincarnated with them. You're best friends with them. They're your soul family. So your soul family, and then other energies that you connected here in a past lifetime, or like through your ancestors. So, you know, there are energies here and beings that humans connected with long ago when the earth was vibrating at a higher frequency. Like people did see other energetic beings here and connect with them, talk to them. But then once our frequency lowered so much, like we stopped seeing them so much, right? So you're going to be connecting to, because it's like different for each person that picks this pile, but you're going to be connecting to those spirits that you're most familiar with. And also you're going to be connecting to your guides, your spirit guides, more as they help you through this transition, as you start connecting with these other energetic beings. But they're going to feel like they're not going to be scary to you. You know, like some people love Sasquatch, you know, like they're like a Bigfoot and they're huge Bigfoot fans. Like they probably wouldn't be as scared of them to connect with them because they probably have some sort of history past in past lifetimes where they connected with Bigfoot or something, or fairies, or, you know, like nature spirits or different elementals or specific like tree spirits or different like plant spirits, or, you know, different water systems and like different angels and different, you know, angels haven't reincarnated here though, so it's like hard for them to understand the physical experiences, but as like more like earth related, it could be like different like shamans and priests and priestesses that have lived in on these lands in the past, or something like that. Something that's connected to your past and connected to this earth, so it's like easier to be more familiar with. And these energies are connected, ones that you connected to in the past, so you're more familiar with them. You know, they're benevolent, and there's like a real like heart-to-heart trust. And then also you're going to be connecting to your spirit team that are also protecting you from people who just want your energy at this time, because right now your energy is for you while you go through this transition, because you're a light worker that made it, pile 2. And so you're going to be extremely protected. You're going to see this like bubble around you. You don't need to be protected just from you connected to the 5D. You're like untouchable, but like you don't know that yet, right? Because you're still getting used to the 5D way of thinking and being. So your spirit team is also going to start communicating to you very, very strongly. I just want to pull one more card because, like, I feel like they have a message for you, like how they're going to connect to you or something. That's not the deck I wanted to pull. I keep losing this deck. Okay. The Gathering, Community, Kinship, Partnership. And another card. The Seer, Future, Prospects, Decisions to Make, Seeking Guidance. You're definitely going to get some, like, visions of the future with your spirit team. Community, kinship, you're going to be like connecting with other people, like-minded people, other people in the 5D here on earth, like other physical human people, like your soul family, where you're going to come together and kind of start seeing the future, kind of manifesting the future together. I'm going to get some more immediate future because that's more important. Far-reaching future too, but I feel like there's a reason you are all coming together. Oh, I got it. They say something about like coming together, like finding each other. Yeah, finding each other. I feel like, oh, that's why you guys are trying to see the near future, because you're trying to find each other and here in the physical is what I'm getting. So I feel like you're gonna use your newfound, turned on, like abilities to first find and seek out your spirit team. Yeah. Around the world, so you can come together and figure out, because it's kind of like a secret code, like, you know, you're gonna be like, oh, like, have you talked to these ET races, or have you seen these? Like, I feel like you're gonna have certain information and like you're gonna find each other. And I said this in like maybe like 2 years ago in an energy reading, about like how you're gonna connect to each other, because like you're gonna know like the people who are connecting to these higher frequency beings and those who are not, because of the specific information and a specific way of speaking and a specific actions you're going to be taking after you connect with these beings, because your life is never going to be the same. And so you're going to be connecting with other people. It's like a secret code, like a secret password. It's like, oh, like when you start talking, like people are going to know, like, oh yeah, this person is like connected to that ET race or to that higher frequency being or something like that. So like, yeah, you're going to use these abilities first and foremost to kind of like seek each other out, like enough of, so you can seek enough of each other out so you can like start doing something with this information. But it's like, I'm getting a little, it's kind of like a secret club kind of thing, but yeah. All right, pile 2, I hope you enjoyed the reading. If you did, I really appreciate it, like or comment. And with that, I hope you have a beautiful rest of the day, and I wish you much love and light. Hi, beautiful pile 3. With the Creator. We're looking at what Spirit has to say to you, your spirit team, messages they would like to say to you that are meant for you. Train whistle right away, so that's some sort of confirmation. For what though? We didn't even start the messages. Oh, right before I started the reading, I was like, oh, so much releasing happening during this reading. So that might be something. The 7 of Cups and the 5 of Wands, and then this card kind of wanted to come up too. The 6 of Wands in reverse. Okay. Secret temptation, being led astray. All right, so the thing is, you're kind of in a transition period, pile 3. And by the way, like all 4 of these piles is going to resonate with anyone who resonates with these highly spiritual messages. You can watch them all in a row, or just watch a couple or few, or maybe one at a time or something. But if you resonate with one, you'll probably resonate with all of them. Yeah. For you, pile 3, I feel like the main focus, though, out of these energies is that while we're in this transition period, there's going to be a lot opening up for you. There's going to be a lot of temptations, because you're now going to have access to anything you want in the 3D, and that's going to be very, very tempting, especially when you're moving out of the 3D and going to the 5D. You're going to look at it and be like, hey, I could have anything I want in the 3D. That's very tempting. You know, you're going to be playing like God. You're like Neo in the Matrix. You're like, I can make anything manifest, right? But it's just like, that's the lure, right? Like once you're in the 5D, you don't want anything negative or anything that doesn't give like growth to humankind, that isn't positive. Like, like we chose, as humanity, we chose to go through like we decided to bring in dark energies and negative energies because that's the only way that we could grow, and then once we evolve consciously into the 5D and higher, we'll realize that we don't need darkness and negativity to keep growing and expanding and to be more creative. So at this time, we chose to have that experience and chose to let that enter our sphere of reality because it helped us grow as a collective. And it's hard when you're transitioning out of the 3D, when you have everything at your fingertips now. It's like you have all the money in the world. You can use anyone, any person. You can have any person come into your life for any reason. You can have any kind of experience. You can have any kind of material thing that you could ever want. Like, it's very hard to be like, oh, but I would like to, I'm moving into the 5D. Can't I just play around in the 3D a little bit more? Spirit is saying with the 6 of Wands here that, like, yeah, you can have your own little personal fun as long as you don't flaunt it, because a lot of people are going into the 5D, are transitioning at this time or starting to at this time. Those at least who are ahead of the awakening wave. A lot of us light workers, starseeds, way showers, twin flames, whatever you want to call yourself, spiritual warriors, like we were the ones who came in to help awaken the rest of the collective, right? Who had just forgotten, like they got caught up in this like 3D reality. They have the power just as we do, but we could have easily been the one who got like kind of like lost in this world and kept reincarnating and forgetting who we are and like getting close or not, being distracted or not fully living up to our potential. We worked through it. We worked hard and we get through it. It could have been easily, the shoe could have easily been on the other foot, right? So, yeah, so we got through it. We woke up, we did our healing, we did it. We did it, pile 3. We awakened, and now we're helping other people awaken, and we're helping to raise the consciousness here and to heal the world and to help heal all the negative energy and stuff, right? So at this transition from 3D to 5D, and I talked about this in a previous energy update reading, but you do have a little bit of time where you can kind of live out those like fantasies that you've had about 3D life, whatever you felt like you weren't able to have. For a lot of people, it's a different things. Maybe you didn't have money. Maybe you didn't have that kind of romantic affair. Maybe you never got to, have a home in that far off country, or maybe you've always wanted to learn this instrument, or how to be a professional this or that or whatever. Like, we all have our things that like, oh, we wish, we had that thing that we couldn't have. So you're going to have that. You're going to be able to do that, but in private. Spirit is saying that like, because a lot of light workers are stepping into the 5D, it's going to be kind of crazy how much abundance you have. And it would not be a good look if everyone could see that you can manifest things like crazy, that you can have as much money and resources to do whatever you want, to go off to these really crazy, expensive, or exclusive or rare, exclusive places, have these rare items and stuff like that. It would not be a good look. It wouldn't help your path. It wouldn't help anyone else's path. So, you will be able to indulge, but just in private. And if you're truly 5D, you don't care about showing off. You don't care about like being like, well, I've been to this part of the world, or I've had this kind of cuisine, or I've had the privilege of, going into this place that's blocked off, or this holding this rare jewel or antique rarity, or having this kind of experience that's not available to the public, or you're not going to be wanting to flaunt or care to flaunt your experiences. So that's one of the reasons you're being allowed to have those experiences for a short while. Be careful not to be led astray. Yeah, because there is a point where you're kind of like in the 4D, like we're in the 4D, right? Going into the 5D, and you don't stay in the 4D for very long. Where you can be lured to the dark side. There's like a lower 4D and a higher 4D, right? So it's the astral realm. You can like manifest whatever you want. But you can manifest dark things. So, it's kind of like, don't be tempted just because you have the power to do whatever you want or make anything happen to exercise the darkness, because that's counterproductive to everything, here. I'm getting like, there are occult practices that allow that to happen, and that's where like the power that were used that loophole to manifest negative things for them, or like use us to manifest negative things for them, right? So yeah, it's like with all this power comes great responsibility. You're being entrusted with this access, this knowledge, which we all have a right to, but you're giving like the access to it. You're the front runner first before everyone else, and it's like you're gonna be the example. So like, yeah, have a little bit of fun, but in the end, like, want to make sure that you're on the good team. Shadow work, the moon. Okay. You will be tested. It's kind of like, what I'm getting like from Lord of the Rings, when Galadriel gets that access to the ring, like when Frodo has a ring in his hand or something like that, and she kind of like freaks out, and she's like, I'm the most powerful being, like sorceress, and the like whatever. And then she's like, after that like episode, she's like, I did it, I passed the test, like I didn't take the ring from you, and I didn't like try to have all that like power, all that like dark power, like I didn't let the dark the dark desire for ultimate power corrupt me, and that's like a really, really hard test, especially when you have that much power. So that's gonna be some shadow work you go through. This is so interesting. What is going on? Okay, how is this shadow work gonna come up? Like, what is it for? What is this all about? Seven of Wands, Seven of Pentacles. Embrace change. But like, why? Like, what's happening? Working with others. Purity. Yeah, see, you're going to be tested, because when you have the ability to have ultimate power, or the most amount of money, the most amount of influence in the world, like, will you use it for good, or will you use it for evil? Like, you don't know. Like, you could have been like a saint, a monk, a nun for your entire life, and then you don't know. Everyone has that individual test. You could have been a good person, you could have been a shitty person. It doesn't, like, once you have that test, like, that's like the true test, right? Like, you can pretend to be like good all your life. You could be good all your life, and then you come to this one thing, and that just like corrupts you. Or you could be pretending to be bad all your life, and then it comes to this one test, and you're like, no, I'm not going to be that evil person, You never know until it's like you're faced with it, But the point is, like, you're meant to, like, in the face of all this, like, unlimited abundance and power, you're being, like, tested to see if you can, like, use that upgrade to come together and work with people out of purity, out of divine energies, to do good in the world. Oh my goodness! You know what just came up? In one of my recent, like last year, I think, or earlier this year. I think, yeah, one of my monthly energy readings. I think it was end of last year ish, but I just remembered like when this comes through, like all the unlimited abundance for light workers, and you get to have like a little bit of fun. I kept saying like, oh yeah, like starting at the end of this year into like next year, like the first waivers, the first people coming into 5D, in this like massive group, like you're gonna have your little bit of fun with your money, but you're also gonna be starting your soul mission. Whoa. Um, but you're gonna have one experience where it's like kind of like a dark power experience, because you're gonna choose to, so you can understand people who are tying up that karmic cycle in this lifetime. So you're gonna choose to have one like like um dark power experience in order to help those that want to close out that cycle. That like the time's up for a lot of these people, right? And there's like truly truly evil people out there, and there's people who are like, still dark but not on that level. But like I feel like you're gonna have one dark power experience in order to understand those that are in that world, so you can help that group kind of awakened. It's not for every light worker. Like every light worker is gonna be different. Like some people are gonna be less. It's gonna be less severe dark experience. It could be just like, oh, what if you just didn't have respect for money? You just spent it like crazy and like in front of people who for some it's just gonna be like something that you've always wanted, but like it's not like the best thing to do. Like I don't know. It's not going to be like completely negative. It's just like a taste of that world, so you can understand people in that with that kind of background, so you can help them. They're going to be not just the people you help, but they're going to be one category of people that you help in the awakening process in the near future. Does that make sense? I just saw the number 11711, and I saw that not too long ago. Like I keep seeing 11711. I can't find like a good meaning for it. Like I have to like make up my own. But I also saw 2121, so you can tell something like big is happening here. The 11711, I'm gonna just intuit the meaning, but I feel like with the two master number 11s, 11 being the humanitarian path, and the 7 in between. Like I feel like it's like two 11s coming together in the name of spiritual divine forces to do something with their wisdom in order to help others. So I do get like soul mission kind of energies, and the 2121 is it's a 33, so master number, and also let's see, 2 and 1 repeating. It's a kind of a number of self-reflection and figuring out your purpose. So I do feel like you're going to be coming together, like not like a bunch of people, but like a few people here and there, like one person there, a few people here, and you're going to be discovering your true life purpose. Because like I feel like a lot of light workers, you spend a lot of time kind of like exploring things you like, and a lot of spiritual work that you do is also, it's not just to help heal the people that you're doing that work for, but also to heal yourself. Like everything that you do spiritually, like your spiritual practices, is basically to heal yourself. And like healing yourself helps heal others, whether you like have a spiritual practice, a business, or like you just help your family and friends and people that you come across with whatever you're experiencing, and with your wisdom that you've acquired through meditation, through channeling, through whatever you're doing, pulling cards for people, or whatever energy work, whatever you do, like healing yourself helps heal others. And then you come to a point where you uncover your true gift. So everyone has their own unique gift, and some people are so lucky that they find it earlier in life, but then they have their own like difficulties and life lessons when, like, for example, like a really, like someone who loves music and loves to play the violin, and they figured that out like when they were 3, when they started playing violin, right, or something, or as a kid, and they became like a concert violinist, and they're really good, they love it, they're passionate about it, and they might be the one who like breaks their hand, you know, and they can't play violin, or the doctors tell them that they'll never be able to play again, they have to do surgery, and like, you know, so everyone has like their own experiences and difficulties and lessons to learn. So like when you think like, oh yeah, that person's so lucky to figure that out sooner, it's like, well, you just wait, like they have their own difficulties. People who are lucky because they got successful right off the bat, like you wait, like there's a reason that like people who are successful usually go through a lot of difficult circumstances beforehand, and they have to learn a lot of little things before they become like successful and stay successful. A lot of people who become successful right away like lose that success because they didn't learn those little things that they now have to learn after success, and they don't know how to maintain it, right? So like things like that. So, but I feel like for you, Pile 3, like you're discovering your own true unique gift, and this is something that not a lot of people are figure out. You know, some people might have a hint. Some people might feel like, oh, like I like these things. Like I'm good at these things. I wish I could go into this more. I had more time to do that in my day. And they might have like a feeling of what they're good at, or what their unique gift is related to. But once you find that like specific thing that's like your thing, it's something creative, something intuitive, something you're creative and intuitive in, like that's your life. You figured it out. You unlock the key of who you are and your persona and your ego in this lifetime, and then it's just your joy to discover that and explore that and push yourself in as much as you can in that direction. So I feel like that's what's happening for you, Pile 3, is that you're coming together with a lot of people to kind of discover yourself, discover your natural gifts and abilities. I'm getting that like the things that you're good at, it's not on paper. There's no videos about it. It's hard to not many people know about it. It might be something really ancient. It could be something really, really new. It could be a combination of things that's like people have not heard of or hasn't been combined ever before. What you're good at is not well known, or there's not much information about it, or you know, it's hard to get the truth of it without actually talking to people, you know. So there's something about like you need to like come across the right people to talk to about this, to uncover this specific unique gift that you have. That makes sense? All right, so let's get more information about that now that we know that's the direction Spirit wants you to go in. Mountain lights, light beings, portals, and subtle energies. And coffee cup, meeting and talking, savoring the moment. Feeling elevated, building friendship. Yeah, see, I kind of knew. I'm like, yeah, I think you're meeting a lot of people who, like some people might be like your soul friend. Some people you might just like have like a conversation with, but like you're really gonna be opening up to people, coming across the right people, who you can have really deep, meaningful conversations with that will kind of like help you uncover and unlock this like very unique gift that you have. Mountain lights, light beings, portals, and subtle energies. Yeah, you know how like it feels like sometimes like you feel like you're walking down the right path, like you know you're doing the right things, like you're being healthy, you're taking care of your mental, emotional, spiritual, and physical health, you know, you're releasing connections that no longer serve you, you know, you're using your creativity in ways that are that aren't for money, just for the sake of being creative. You're trying to be mostly in the moment, not think too much in the past or the future. And this is like helpful, like past for inner work, future for visualizations and manifestations. You're doing the right things, taking care of your physical responsibilities, but not putting too much emphasis on like making more money, or making like focusing on the things that actually truly matter to you. So you're doing all the right things, but then it's like, okay, you're prepared and ready to step into this role now, to step into this unique, authentic signature of your being. Like, you're now ready to access the highest divine aspect of yourself. You've been prepped and ready. Like, you couldn't access that, like, the highest divine part of yourself until you kind of prepared your body, mind, and soul for it. You could, like, if you're in the zone, if you're meditating or this or that, but like, I feel like, when folks have, like, you can tell, like, they're doing the thing they're meant to do. I feel like some people find it, but then they can't maintain it. They'll go like in like highs and lows, and like, that's their journey to kind of explore it. But like, you don't have to. You can just be in that high energy and keep exploring who you are. There's something about like you're discovering your unique talent in your highest form. So like, there's a difference of people discovering their unique gifts in the 3D and finding their unique gifts in a 5D way. You can maintain it. Yeah, you can maintain it while you're being like happy and content. You can grow in it without having to kind of go through highs and lows, or too severe highs and lows. And you have a more balanced life. Like, like those really like starving artists, or like they are authors who like, write drunk and then edit sober kind of thing. Like they have to be in an altered state to achieve that divine connection for their art form or whatever. Like, you don't need to do that. You're already in the 5D, so you're always connected. It's an unlimited channel of ideas. A creative block isn't a thing. You're constantly connected to the divine. You can constantly create. A creative block is usually because you have an emotional, like, inner work that needs to be done. So you have unlimited connections to the unlimited creative abilities, because you're constantly connected to the divine. You can maintain it. You can be happy. You can grow in it without having to go through pitfalls or too much negative energy. And what was the point of this? Bring it home. Come on, it's on the tip of my tongue. Balance. There's balance in your life too, because you're not just focusing on just this passion, this unique gift. You understand the value of a connection with other human beings, people who are important to you, people that you love, community, doing work that helps others, maintaining your health. It's like you're working in a very balanced way in all areas of your life. Your passion, this passion included, and there's like a difference with people who do it in this 5D way versus the 3D way. What's the point of that? Wow, the Tower in reverse, upheaval. For me, when the Tower comes out in reverse, it means a very divine, miraculous event that you couldn't have imagined. That's really, really, really good. What is it related to? Okay, 2 cards came up. Sacred journey, introversion, seeker, self-knowledge. First of all, you're going to be connecting to yourself in a way that you never have. The beautiful thing about you as a person is humans are very complex beings, and you can take a whole lifetime to explore yourself or another person, usually like a lover or your family member or someone you love, and you'll continue learning and discovering things about them, and in turn yourself, and like the divine nature of this being of humanity, of humans, right? It's like there's unlimited things you can learn and discover and explore in this lifetime as this version of yourself. I think that's going to open up for you in some way. Like there's like something like, oh, you did as much as you can in this last cycle. This new cycle is going to, like, you're at like a level like 1, and the next level is like a level 10. It's going to open up the amount that you can learn about life, about humanity, about things, about yourself, like times 10 than your previous cycle. So I think your mind is just going to be blown away by the amount that there is to explore and learn more, you know, in ways that you didn't see before. And open like the lotus, flowering spirit, revelation, maturity. Yeah. So your spirit, your soul enters like a higher level of maturity. And I think because like a lot of people, you might think like, oh, like it will have to be monk-like and like a nun or a priest, or just, you know, just like to be like super spiritual. Do I have to just be bored all the time, like just peace and meditate and take walks by the water, like eat simply? Like, is that gonna be life? Is it gonna be very boring? It's like, no. Quite the opposite. It's gonna be extremely interesting, like so interesting. You're probably gonna even sleep less. Usually people who are really connected to the divine, you don't need as much sleep because you don't need to repair your body that much because you're already healing it, eating good foods. And you'll have fun with food. You'll like the food that you eat, and be creative with the kind of foods that you make. You'll be creative with your lifestyle. Simple doesn't have to mean boring, right? You're just doing things that are good for you versus like, you know, you think that like the culinary arts, like you have to have these kinds of foods and prepare it in these kinds of ways for it to be tasty. It's like, oh no, you can do it in a health way. We just haven't explored it. We haven't seen that much. We haven't, like, humanity hasn't, like, we didn't allow ourselves to kind of, you know, for example, design clothes with only like high frequency cloths. You know, like what would that look like? What would that fashion industry look like? Do we have that? No, not many, right? So it's kind of like it opens up this whole new dimension of the world in every way possible, in any creative pursuit that you take on, and your lifestyle. It's quite the opposite. It's like you might think it looks simple from the outside. People might think it looks simple, but that's because in 3D you had to be monk-like and like nun-like and stuff like that in order to be spiritual, because that's all we knew. To eat healthy, you have to eat simple. No, you don't. It can be very complex, healthy meals. You know, it's good to eat one fruit at a time. It's better for our body. But like, it's just kind of like, it opens up this whole other realm. It's like, just to be more spiritual, to be more, to have a more advanced consciousness doesn't mean boring. It's actually the opposite. I feel like you're gonna be so excited. You're gonna even have less sleep because you don't need it as much. So you can have more time to create and have fun and do all the things that you're excited about, which is so many things. I feel like you might be even surprised with how much energy you have to take on more projects and do more with your life. It's like you're squeezing so much life out of every single moment. And that's pretty cool. That's pretty rare. I'm just going to pull one more card because I realized I didn't use this deck in this pile yet. A splendid torch. Yep, that's great. Blaze brightly. Like, I feel like you might be surprised of what's in store for you. I'm gonna, like the Tower card, I'm gonna clarify. Page of Pentacles, yeah, because I feel like you're gonna feel like a kid again in the sense that like a 5D kid, where you're just like so excited to do so many things. So you got, you know, with the 7 of Cups here, like, you know, while you're doing this transition from 3D to 5D, you might have so much abundance in your hands that you kind of want to do all the things that you wanted to do in the 3D. And you also want to do that. You might also want to have one last like dark power experience that's like more rare. Like, you know, there's like less people who are part of the 1% or something like that, you know? So like something that like an experience that's like very rare, or dark, or, you know, something like that, just so like you can help that person or those folks a little bit. Not going to be the only people you help. It's just going to be part of your repertoire, part of your resume kind of thing. But after you're done having fun with the 3D, you're going to naturally, like after a year and a half or a few years, several years, you're going to naturally just want to settle into a more 5D life. And it's going to be more amazing than you can ever imagine with that abundance. You're going to blaze brightly, and you're going to have this like kind of like new 5D inner child come out, which is just like, who would you be if you had these resources and this kind of mindset, if you're, you know, born with this kind of life? And I think you're naturally going to switch over to like the healthier version of things, and you're going to let your creativity, you can explore your creativity, all the things that you like. And you're also going to, you know, push yourself in that area that you have a unique gift in, but while keeping all the things in your life balanced, and wanting to keep all the things in your life balanced, and seeing how amazing like life feels like it's just synchronistic when you're just doing things that are good for you and good for people. All right, pile 3. So I hope you enjoyed this reading. If you did, I really appreciate it. Like a comment. And with that, I hope you have a beautiful rest of the day. I wish you much love and light. Hi, pile 4 with a healer. We're looking at Spirit's message for you, your Spirit team's message, whatever Spirit feels like is meant for you at this time. All these readings are really highly spiritual, and they kind of, if you resonate with one, you'll probably resonate with all. So I'd definitely check out another pile. I'll watch all of them at different times or whenever, if this resonates with you very deeply, because, you know, like this pile will resonate with you more at this time, but they're all gonna resonate. They're all happening for light workers right now. So okay, so coming out of some sort of feeling sad, depressed, annoyed, frustrated, depleted, hopeless, done. So those emotions are going away while you step into your leadership role. So I'm getting very strongly that, you know, as with a lot of light workers, Starseeds, spiritual warriors, that like, you know, you get to a point where it's just like, I'm done. Like, I can't take anymore. Like, I need to see results. I need to see things change. I've done a lot of changing. If I don't see it in the physical now, I'm going to freaking freak out, you know? And so Spirit's like, don't worry. Like, this was the last of it. You know, we're just wrapping that up. But as that's wrapping up, you're going to feel a significant change in your emotions. It's going to be easier to stay in a high frequency and higher emotional states from now on. And also, you're going to be stepping into your leadership role more now. So you're going to also get a lot of attention for the kind of messages you put out there, the wisdom, the help, the healing, the teaching that you put out there at this time, whether it's just like in your day-to-day life with people you meet in your daily life, or if it's like in your business or your spiritual practice, or whatever you do for work that is authentic to who you are. So if you're a writer, author, teacher, if you practice medicine, if you practice law, whatever you do, like, you're good at it. You're good in it because of your intuitive ability. So like, you know, a lot of us, you know, you don't have to be in the spiritual line of work to be a light worker. Like, a lot of light workers and a lot of people who are awakening now, they're really well versed in the line of work they're in now. So whether it's in medicine or law, or if they're a writer, or if they're an artist, or if they're, you know, like anything, whatever you are, whether you do, if you're in sanitation, or if you're a contractor, or if you're, you know, work with kids, or whatever it is, you're an arborist, or if you're an engineer, or like a designer, or whatever it is that you do for work, it does not matter. Like, you're awake and you're going to be the one leading that field because you're using your intuition and you're changing that line of work, that industry, to be more 5D, to be where we need it to be and better, you know? So it's helpful for people. So it's helpful for the world. It's good for the world, like, you know? So you're going to be the change maker in your industry, no matter what it is. Clear and activate. Create sacred space. Yeah, so you're kind of in that, like, place where you're wrapping up any, like, old cycle beliefs, and, like, I'm getting, like, belief of who you are and what your life is, right? Because you know better. Like, you've been holding space for this life that you're meant to have, this person who you're meant to be, and you created that space, you're attracting that space, and it's here. And so now you're just like calling it home, feeling the warmth, feeling the happiness, and the knowing that it manifested, that it happened for you. And you're stepping into your role as the highest and best version of yourself, and stepping into your highest and best life. So that's definitely a good feeling. And it's one of the reasons why you're not going to feel that, like, those lower frequency emotions anymore. I mean, you might here or there, but a lot of you aren't going to ever feel, like, let yourself fall into those negative emotions ever again. So, like, it's that kind of significant change within your energies that you're going through right now. Master of Clouds, the King of Air, Swords. So we have intellect here. You have a lot of wisdom, you have a lot of knowledge, you're also very connected to the divine and your soul, your oversoul, so you have access to a lot of information. You're very, very, very intuitive. You're really good at seeing things from different perspectives. You're probably really good at visualizing. If you have to problem solve, you're probably a really good problem solver. You're really good at design. You're really good at connecting different ideas and putting it together and spitting out a really useful idea. You're good at brainstorming, and you're really good at planning and figuring out steps, organizing material that is given to you, organizing data, being able to see things that other people don't see. Like, you're really, really good at using your head. You're very, very smart, but for sure. Let's see how you can use more of your smarts at this time. I feel like you always have. It's just you're being noticed and used for it more in the collective now, you know? Like, I feel like you're kind of like in a bubble while you're kind of doing your own healing and coming into your own. And now that you have, like, now humanity as a collective can utilize your wisdom, experience, and knowledge and know-how to help the rest of the collective. It's like the collective is like now being like on an unconscious level, the collective consciousness is recognizing you and utilizing you. Whereas before, you might have been targeted because you were kind of the shadow. You were the mirror for the collective, and so people didn't like you. They kind of attacked you. Now, maybe not aggressively, some people maybe, but like I feel like it might have felt like people are against you. So there's a lot of opposition, right? Like people, family, friends, people you grew up with, people you work with, teachers and stuff like that, neighbors who are just like, you should do this for money or security, or, you know, this is tried and true, you should make this work instead of following your own path and stuff like that. So and then just like people, you know, who might be like, oh, that's crazy to go into that kind of career, or that's crazy to live that kind of lifestyle, or that will never work, you know, until you make it work. And it's like, yeah, I'll prove you wrong. Like, so like, there's no one that could, like, there was a lot of opposition, and you kind of had to like rally for yourself, and you had to support yourself, and you had to prove to other people who thought this was impossible that this is in fact possible, right? Because everyone thought it was impossible, but you knew it wasn't, and you have to show them by doing it, right? So now that you have proven that, like on an energetic level, instead of being attacked and opposed by the collective consciousness, you're no longer their mirror. I mean, you're no longer their mirror in like a shadow aspect. You're no longer their like shadow work. You're not forcing people to look at their like what's the worst about them. Which is kind of ridiculous, because I feel like you do point out to people like the best things about them, show them what's interesting about them. You're always really kind, and to be always kind of have people feel uncomfortable around you or be unkind to you or to kind of be triggered by you, and having that emerge in different ways is kind of very probably unsettling for you, because like, what am I doing wrong? I'm just being nice. And now I'm getting that you're being accepted by the collective consciousness. And so you're no longer like the shadow work mirror for everyone. I mean, for some people maybe, but you're also extremely bright. Your light is so bright now that like people can see who they can be through you. Not just like what's bad about them, what needs to be healed, if that makes sense. They see you as someone who's not to be like threatened by. Like, yeah, you're very powerful. Like, yeah, don't mess with this. Don't mess with pile 4. But like they see you as someone that can help them. That is to be respected. That can be used to learn, grow. Don't take everything that you say as an underhanded comment or anything. It's like, oh, they're being genuine. They see you in a different light, and it's just because you're so bright. Disco ball, I'm hearing. Like, it's like they can't even see you. Like you as a mirror, you're so bright. Like, it's like they don't even see the mirror. Like, they just see the light. Which is great. Like, you're showing them the divine aspect of themselves. You're awakening people by showing them their divine aspects. Whereas before, it was kind of like, while you were going through your healing, you were mirroring people like their healing, what they needed to heal, kind of thing, All right, so how can you use this intellect, stepping into your role as a leader, as a teacher at this time, best? Queen of Clouds, the Queen of Cups, compassion. Okay, so you're being asked to utilize your compassion, forgiveness, compassion, and forgiveness. All right, so I feel like you're going to come across a lot of people who are going to like ask for forgiveness, but like maybe not straight up, maybe in like a roundabout way. And, they're trying to ask for your help, but they probably know that, like, they don't deserve it because they probably did you dirty or something, or, like, weren't the nicest to you or doubted you. And so they might, like, ask you for your help and, like, kind of be like, oh, like, I respect you, or I please forgive me for how I behaved back then, or for not believing you and stuff like that, while still kind of, like, and, like, kind of looking down and being kind of, like, skittish because they're, like, kind of uncomfortable for the fact that, like, they were wrong. They know they did something. They didn't do right by you, or they didn't believe you, or they didn't, whatever the situation was. But they need your help, but they they're trying to, like, it's uncomfortable for them, let's just say. And they're trying to, like, come to you apologetically. It's going to be different for different people that come to you, depending on where they are in their own journey. But also in admiration, So you're going to see a lot of people see you differently because you're, I don't know, completed your journey. Like, you've been accepted by the collective in a different way, like the collective consciousness in a different way. I want more explanation about this. So you're going to be doing a lot of writing or speaking, having a lot of conversations with people, to share your wisdom, to help people, to share your knowledge, your experiences. A lot of one-on-ones, a lot of talking to people in groups. You might not even intend it. You might be just talking at like an event or a party or something, and then just a crowd forms around you because people are so fascinated and interested about your life story or whatever you have to share. And it's not like cheesy, and it's not like people are like taking it the wrong way or feeling like you're saying I'm better than you kind of thing. It's just more like, yeah, this person knows what they're talking about. And you have such a personality because your light is shining so brightly now. So it's like, look at this sunflower here and this like daisy here. Like, it's just like, people are being attracted to your energy and your light. So like, you know, people are interested in hearing what you have to say, whether you say it in a funny way or your own unique personality, in a serious way. Like, people take you with a lot of warmth. You're like very like a showman. I mean, showmanship. So you're giving out a lot of personality and a lot of warmth, a lot of light. It's naturally. It's like in your divine nature. Like, if you see like some of the most like highly spiritual people, they seem so calm, and it's just like so easy to talk to them, you know, and like your true like version of yourself comes out because they're being so calm and they're being so like grounded. But those folks can also be the most funniest. Like, the wisest people in the world can also be the most funniest. It's just because they're being their true authentic self, and so like they know how to intuitively work a crowd and just give off a lot of warmth and harmonious energies, like naturally in like whatever room you enter, right? It just comes with the high energy. And the Ace of Pentacles, so we see like an opportunity here. Let's see what this opportunity might be in. Wedding rings. Okay, wow, okay. So I think this came up for almost every pile, and that's just kind of like yeah, once you step into your true authentic power, like you're gonna attract the right people to you. And now that you're moving into 5D and you're sustaining that higher frequency, like it's impossible to keep your true love away. Wow. Let's see if we can get take up space. So we have create sacred space and take up space, and the Emperor, the 4 and the 4 here. Okay, so yeah, there's a lot of foundational energy coming in. We do have a King and Queen here. All right, so 2 queens. Queen of Cups, Queen of Wands, King of Swords. You see Cup, Wands, Swords. And then we have the Ace of Pentacles. So no wonder the Emperor came up, because we have all the elements here. You're meant to create in this world. You're meant to establish big things, whether it's a big business or a big family or just a big influence. You know, if you write a book, they're going to sell millions and millions of copies. You know, if you put out music, it's going to have, you know, millions and millions and millions, billions of views. Like, it's just like you're meant to have a big imprint in this lifetime, and your work is meant to have a lot of influence. And it's like, because it's so authentic, and people are craving that authenticity right now. People are craving realness. If you look at the influencers we have now, like, they're just, you know, it's very fake. It's like what's it called? It's like they've already like written their lines ahead of time. It's very fake. It's all like superficial. You know, even our politicians, like, you know, they say one thing and obviously they're doing like crazy evil things behind people's backs. And just like anywhere you go, like people are just like at work, you know, people are just like small talk. It's like, I don't care about this person. Like, no, there's no realness. There's no like real deep connection. It's just get my work done, go home and just chill out. You know, it's like there's no authenticity in our day-to-day lives as much anymore. Not in yours, but you know, the people you're going to be help awakening. That's why you're meant to have this influence, because people don't know how to connect to their true authentic self anymore, or are unwilling to, or afraid to, or whatever. There's a million reasons why people aren't connected to their true authentic self. So when they see someone who's like truly authentic, like it's very alluring, it's captivating. You know, you can't affect someone who's being themselves and who doesn't care about what you think about them. There's no way you can lower that person's energy. They're vibrating at the highest frequency. It's higher than love, authenticity, right? So you're meant to have a lot of influence. And there's a lot of like earth energy here. I'm getting a lot of like, it's a very good balance of like spiritual energy and physical energies. It's like you're meant to ground in a lot of this work in a very like showy way. Like you're meant to be seen. You're meant to be an influence, but not like behind the scene influence, like in front of people's faces on TVs, on videos and bookstores, and just you're meant to be seen. So for this pile specifically, like I feel like I think you're going to be surprised of the role you're stepping into. Because I don't think you particularly care to be in front of people. In fact, you might even have like an issue with public speaking, or maybe like you never had a public issue with public speaking in your life, but you're a very shy person. Or there's something with like public speaking, your looks. You might look really, really attractive. But you would never use it to kind of go on like sell your face and body for money kind of thing, you know? Like this is what it was for, like for influencing and for the highest reasons, right? To make your message be heard, to be channeling for the highest, best reason. This is the role you're meant to play. So you're probably very attractive. You have a really good personality. You're probably really funny. You probably know a lot. You're very, 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 very smart. You're very, very intuitive as well. But you also are very successful in physical ways. You might have a very good business sense. You're probably really good with money. You're probably really good with design or creativity. Like you could probably put your finger in any creative project and do well, you know? Not that you want to do everything, but like, you know, if you had to like design clothes and that's like not your thing, like you probably could still design like a pretty cool outfit. If you had to like design a room, like interior design or something, and that's like, that's not my thing, but you could probably put a really cool room together. Like, you know, like I feel like anything creative, like you'd be able to do well. Without having any experience in it, just because you're just that really creative and you have like an eye for things. So you have an eye for things, you can see beauty in things. You're also a very beautiful person yourself, whether you're a man or woman. You're meant to take up space. So you have a lot of you have really, really good physical energy, as well as spiritual energy. So you're meant to be seen, and there's a reason that you have really good physical energy. You're meant to take up a lot of physical space. And being like, I'm getting like you're being allowed to, like the collective consciousness is allowing you and this identity in this lifetime to be a huge influence, because it's going to be very positive. It's going to be your specific frequency, authentic frequency that is you, is going to help a lot of people. So that's why like you've been kind of chosen, you've been nominated, you've been prepared to take this role and to help people awaken to their true authentic self by being your true authentic self in whatever way that could be. It could be in a spiritual way. It could just be whatever you're good at, your whatever you're creative in. It could just be your personality. People might just like you for you, and so you can do whatever. You know, you can vlog one day or just put out a product the next day, and like you know, people will just like you for you because you're just doing you. You're just doing whatever like resonates with you, and you might go from like one thing to another thing to another thing just because, you know, you don't want to sit still, and people are just amazed and can't wait to see what you do next, or, you know, because like they like that you're expressing yourself in whatever way you want to. I'm getting Donald Glover kind of vibes. Okay. Some of you will stick with like more like spiritual things, or more of a serious profession, but whatever it is, like it's your personality. It's like who you are. That's important, you know? That's what people want to see. That's what people need to hear. Like you can put out whatever, but like it's like they want to see and hear more of you and your creativity and your insights and like how you're being authentic, and that's what they're picking up the energy from. You know, it doesn't have to be your actual product or your actual movies or your actual like concepts. It could just be that you're just expressing yourself and you're expressing how you see the world, or you're just doing what you think, what you want to do just because it's so you. That's the energy that people are going to resonate with, and it's going to help awaken people. What is this? Full moon temple, celebration, peak, transcendent moment. Oh, that's really cool. Pull not a card. 2 cards popped up. X marks the spot. See the love in disguise. Okay, so we have a wedding ring here. So I do feel like, yeah, you're going to obviously meet your, you're going to be attracting your true love. And we talked about that a little bit, that like, you know, as you step into that energy, it's nothing can, if you're in true alignment with yourself, that's like you love yourself, right? You love the divine energies. There's nothing that can keep your true love away from you in this lifetime, you know? So that's what's coming up for you. See the love in disguise. That's so funny. I think in pile 1 we also saw that like disguised thing with love, and that was like the soul mission. Like you might not realize that your love wants the same soul mission as you, but it's like it seems different at first, so it doesn't click for you at first. That was pile 1. But for this pile, stop and taking the view, take a stock of the treasures you've earned. I feel like for you in terms of love, pile 4, you just want to kind of take in this love, right? Like you found your true love again. You're reunited, you're together, and it's so completely healing to have your love in your life, to know this is all real, to know that like you're connected to the divine, you, your partner, and the divine in a triangle. It grounds it in more with the masculine and feminine energy between you and your partner, and then the third energy, the divine energy, source energy. Like I'm seeing these like mountains here, like that's what's going to build and manifest these dreams, these goals, these visuals that you two have together. It's like you two, like you can definitely see, wow, you see the couple here, and then you see like the divine energy. Like you can tell like source energy is going to have a blast working with the two of you to manifest these things. So it might not just be you. It might be you and your partner that work together. Both of you might choose to be in the limelight. One of you might choose to be more in behind the scenes sometimes. But I feel like it's both of you in the limelight together. Celebration, peak, transcendent moment. I want to pull one more card for that. Under the table, so it's like this, there's something that you can't see right now, especially with the love in disguise. Okay, Temple of Dreams. We have full moon. Oh, full moon temple, and then full moon forgiveness here. Gotcha. You're gonna be kind of like worshipped, and that's not the best thing. You don't want to be worshipped because like we all have the divine spark within us. But we have 2 temples here now: Temple of Dreams, Sacred Dreams, Prophecies, Dream Journeys. So I do feel like you're gonna like, I feel like there's gonna be like a sacred space built in your honor, so you can do your sacred work. This could be like your mansion. This could be like a temple, a monastery, or something of that sort, a church. Like not like a cult, but I'm getting like you're going to be building a sacred space where you and your partner do divine work, and maybe like some other soul family members, where you do this really, really highly divine work. you're going to be manifesting some big things. In the beginning, it might be more 3D looking things like books or music, like, you know, influencer videos or products and stuff like that. But it's going to move into a different direction for sure. So sorry, I thought I bumped the camera. Yeah, I feel like the work you're going to be doing is so sacred, and it doesn't seem like that. Like, I feel like you both start off your life together. Like, you might start this before you meet them, or you might do this together. If you're already together, you might do it together, or you two might come together first and then step into the limelight. But I do feel like you are going to be very public figures. But I feel like the work you're going to be doing is so sacred and so spiritual, but it doesn't start out that way. In the beginning, it's more like 3D, and how we know public figures to communicate their ideas nowadays, where in the future it might be completely different. I think you have no idea how spiritual and how powerful this kind of work you're going to be doing with your partner is for like manifesting dreams, visions, and manifestations for the collective. You definitely were like elected for this position from the collective consciousness, you and your partner. 4 of clouds. So we have 444 here. 35, 37. Rest. Another swords energy. But right now, Spirit's just like, just think about resting. You're just coming out of this phase of like where you felt a lot of like negative emotions, maybe for the last time, or at least for the last time very heavily. So Spirit's like, don't worry about what's coming up. Like, that's going to be amazing. You have no idea what's in store for you and your partner and for your life's work. And it might not seem so appealing for a lot of you of how much you're going to be in the limelight, in the spotlight. But Spirit's like, don't worry about that right now. All you need to do is get some rest and let yourself kind of, Queen of Pentacles, take care of yourself. There is an opportunity coming in for you. And it's going to come through like you're speaking. So having conversations with people. Yeah. I feel like it's going to come through a person. King and Queen again. We have the King and Queen. There's a lot of King and Queens here. Yeah, and this came up in another pile too. Not only are you going to be attracting in a lot of people who might want your help or may want your forgiveness, but also a lot of people who are on the same level as you. You're the king and queen, like you and your partner. But you're also going to be bringing into your life a lot of other partners who are also 5D. And you're going to be kind of coming up with new spiritual practices that are like beyond what you can imagine right now. So Spirit's just like, yeah, you're going to have a lot of opportunities. Just keep yourself open to conversation if anyone comes up to you in like a high frequency way. Whether it's someone who's already awakened or someone who like didn't treat you right before, like if you feel like their energy isn't a high enough frequency, like be open to conversations and stuff like that. But you're not going to be just meeting people who are like, wanting your help, wanting your light, wanting your wisdom, and wanting your forgiveness, but also people who are on the same vibe as you. What do you say about people? Okay, so the 4 of Swords and now the 4 of Pentacles, security. Spirit's is saying like you're going to be protected and you might actually have security detail. So you're going to be protected. You might be guided to like live somewhere where you have more protection around your home. You might be asked to kind of live somewhere a little bit more private. You might have a public address and a more private address. Or like, you only meet people when you're at work in your office, or you only let certain people know where you live, certain close friends and family only. Especially because with a lot of these people who are being attracted to your light, you're going to attract some people who you don't want to talk to all the time. You don't, you might want to have time and energy to talk to folks here and there, but that's how you're going to know that you're becoming more famous and you're becoming more, your light's attracting a lot more people. And so, like word of mouth, like, oh, did you hear Pal 4? They're really good with this kind of, with helping you in this kind of way, or, like they just have the best things that they can help you with, their wisdom, or they're really good at figuring out this, they're really good at astrologer, they're really good with numbers, they're really good with it, like, like they're so good with, like, you should get a consultation with them. And so that's when you're going to know, it's like, okay, time to up the security, right? So, but that's also going to give you, like, that's also going to pique people's interest who are in the same level as you, doing the same, similar kind of work, or on that level. So that's going to also bring in a lot of interest as well. So pile 4 seems like an awesome energy that you're stepping into. I just feel like, is there something that Spirit wanted to tell you about, like right now? 2 of Cups, yeah. So I feel like this person, this romantic love energy, this wedding rings, your partner that's coming in, or that you're leveling up with, they're also leaving this energy of like no more negative emotions, leaving their old life. So like be aware that like you're both kind of on this like learning curve, this 5D learning curve, and that might be just kind of important to like know while you step into this, because like they probably had a similar experience with you, and you might be able to help each other and heal each other, help each other heal a lot by connecting to each other and the divine together, connecting on your visions together, and just take a moment. Who cares about all this stuff going on? Just rest, just feel this like huge sigh of relief, and that you're on the same page as your partner and folks that you're going to be coming into contact with, and with your soul mission. So as a healer. So pile 4, I hope you enjoyed the reading. If you did, I really appreciate it. Like a comment. And with that, I hope you have a beautiful rest of the day. And I wish you so much love and light.